Hello everybody, welcome to Deluxe Collectibles, and today we're going to be doing my reaction and review for LEGO Ninjago Season 13, Episode 5, Queen of the Munce. If you would like to check out my full reaction to this episode, then you can be sure to head right down below to the top of the description of this video, where you'll see a link leading you over to Google Photos, where you'll be able to view my full uncut reaction to the episode. And then over here on YouTube, in this video, I'm going to be doing my full spoiler review for the episode, so I of course would recommend that you watch the reaction beforehand so that you don't get spoiled through this review if you have not seen the episode yet. But without further ado, we're gonna get straight into it here. So this episode basically, and by the way, I have my laptop here so I don't miss out on any details from the episode, so we can just go through it, talk about my thoughts on it, and discuss. And basically this episode begins with us following three of the main ninja. Of course, we have Nia, Lloyd, and Jay, and they are following Mert, basically the Munces. They've kind of gone along with them, so they're following them, and Mert's having a bit of a tough time knowing exactly where to go. So luckily Nia's kind of able to figure it out. She finds these footprints on the ground and basically makes the assumption and that's going to be the way out, basically, or at least the way somewhere. So they go there, and then they basically wind up here in Mert's home, basically, which has a really cool design to it. I like all of the crystals that are kind of glowing green. I think that looks really nice, keeping with the color scheme of course, their sort of species, and I think that's really nice. So they wind up going in there. They meet these two guards, so I would like to mention the guards. Like a minifigure, of course, in order to put on the hair or put on anything, has that little stud at the top of its head, but these two do not actually have a stud on the top of their head. So I'm wondering if I'm just forgetting, if we've had a previous character that doesn't have a hair piece or a head piece or anything and just has the stud, because I'm wondering if it's always been like that without a stud on the head, or if they have like had the stud. I don't know, it's just really interesting. I never really noticed this, if there ever has been a character like that, but I thought it looked really kind of odd on these minifigures, because that's not obviously how the minifigures are. They usually, or always, have the stud on their head, so a little bit of an interesting design choice there. But basically, they go to both of these two. They're the guards guarding basically their queen of the Munce, whose name is Mertessa, and I'm actually not sure if they mention it during the episode, her name, but I actually looked it up afterwards because I wanted to, of course, be able to refer to her. But basically they meet up with Mertessa. Now I thought at first maybe she was gonna be not evil, but like a little bit like agitated with them or something, wanting to get into a fight, because I kind of knew that they were going to wind up in some sort of confrontation, because I'd seen a scene from one of the trailers for this season. But it actually starts off pretty well. Mert basically recounts how the ninja helped them escape, and I mean, Mert might have a job in doing recaps, I would say, because he does a pretty fantastic job here. Really kind of blows everybody away. And Mertessa basically then says like, oh, this is fantastic, thank you very much, ninja. Now she kind of has a special liking for Jay, I would say. She kind of picks him out of all of them, kind of targets Nia a little bit by saying like, who is this? Is this like your servant or something? And it's like, okay, whoa, like, come on. Nia basically just explains that she's like Jay's Zane, basically, because of course they're together. And the Mertessa still doesn't really acknowledge her too well, so she's really like focused on Jay, I would say, primarily. And then she kind of goes away, the ninja are discussing, and they actually find a print on a wall kind of depicting that battle between either Millie or Gilly. It's kind of interesting. Lloyd refers to her as Millie in this part, and I'm wondering if that's part of it because they're in the Munce's layer, so you would pronounce it with the M spelling for it. So pretty interesting there. Seems to be fighting in the depiction like the Skull Sorcerer's dragon, most likely, is what I would say, just from that little drawing there, from what I can tell. And then they go and have a meal with Mertessa, who basically just kind of is trying to charm Jay. She asks him if he's able to use his elemental abilities, and he actually is able to use them, so it's interesting. I assume they're far enough away from the Venge Stone so they can still fight underground, at least. It just can't be in that main Skull Sorcerer layer. But Jay uses his powers to kind of light up all of the crystals. It really wows Mertessa, and now she's like just full on like hitting on Jay, basically. And Nia, of course, is not taking well to this, so Mertessa actually winds up challenging Nia to win Jay. She wants Jay to be her king, and of course Nia has to accept this challenge, or else Jay's really got no way out of this, I suppose. He's gonna be forced into being Mertessa's king. So Nia Nia gears up. It's really cool because it's the first time we get to see one of the ninja in their full new like hero costumes for this season. I really do like the look of that. I think it looks really fantastic, especially Nia's, because one of the primary colors for them is either gold or silver, and the silver works very well with Nia, I think, just because of already her gray sort of color scheme, and the blue also matches really well with it, gives it a nice little pop of color. So I really love her design. The helmet as well looks great in animation, so it's super cool to get to see that. And then the battle commences between them in an arena, Nia versus Murtessa, and they start fighting it out. Basically, at first Murtessa is definitely getting the advantage here. She's using this technique where she kind of just weirds Nia out by doing this weird sort of like ritual sort of dance, I suppose you could call it, and then she starts like rolling and just attacking Nia. She's basically like a steamroller, just annihilating Nia here in this battle. And then Nia's like, you know what, I can spin too, and then she uses spin jutsu, which was really cool, because at first I thought, why doesn't she use her elemental ability? But then I was like, wait, light bulb in my brain there is no water underground here, so Nia really has nothing to use against her. So Nia uses spin jutsu, winds up knocking out Murtessa surprisingly in one shot, which was really impressive. And then all of the Munces actually start saying, oh wow, she defeated the queen, now we have a new queen, Queen Nia. And I was like, oh wow, I actually didn't really think about that if she won this fight, she would most likely become the new queen of the Munces. So that's kind of interesting. I wonder if she'll be able to use that to her advantage during this sort of fight against the Skull Sorcerer. I'd be really interested to find out about that in the upcoming episodes. And of course that kind of means Jay kind of is king now, I suppose, because him and Nia are obviously in a relationship. Now she's queen, so it would make sense that Jay is somewhat king. And I'm wondering what Murtessa's role will be, like how that's going to work out, or if Nia will just hand back the queenship to Murtessa. So I'm not sure how that's all going to come to fruition, but I thought it was a pretty good episode. Nothing spectacular, I would say, but it's cool to find out about more of the Munces, kind of expand their sort of history and just kind of their species, I suppose, because they seem like they're going to be a big part of this, along with the Geckos as well, which I'm wondering if the next episode will maybe focus on the Geckos, because of course the ninja split up, so we'll see some of them, I'm sure, running away with the Geckos, maybe following them back to their sort of hideout. So that'll be interesting to see for sure. I thought it was overall a good episode. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section on what you thought of this episode. Where does it rank for you thus far in the episodes that we've seen, and are you excited for the following ones? Thanks so much for checking out this video. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and also subscribe if you want to see future LEGO Ninjago reactions. I would really appreciate the support. So thank you so much. I'll see you all next time, and always remember, keep on collecting.